Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Haven Crutchfield, and I'm here to present my research proposal for the need for technology in correctional education. I've been teaching in correctional education for 6 years, so this was a topic that was very close to home for me and something I was very interested in. Currently, there are about 1.5 million incarcerated adults in the United States. Each year, 725,000 of those men and women will be released back into society. When they are incarcerated, about 60% of the prison population has minimal reading and writing skills. In order to help these prisoners re-enter back into society, prisons have introduced various programs like educational programs, technical programs, things like that, in order to combat that recidivism. And studies show us that by participating in educational programs, inmates are 43% less likely to return to prison. So, while technology is being used in the public school classroom for various things, it's not being utilized in the prison classroom. And the question is why? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of the reasons has always been security. They are afraid that inmates will use internet or computer access to set up other crimes, set up drug deals, set up murders. They could also threaten witnesses or victims. And then, of course, one of the other problems with security is to find personal information about staff in order to blackmail them, bully them, or just have something on them. Another issue with technology in prisons is, of course, a political issue. A lot of people don't want their tax dollars being spent so that prisoners can have access to computers. And then finally, the last issue is always money. It takes a lot of money to buy these computers, set up a secure wireless connection, wire the buildings, hiring people in technology support, and that sort of thing. So having technology in the prison is not just, one issue, it's several issues. But if our correctional students don't have access to technology, are we putting them at a disadvantage for re-entry? Also, is technology important in correctional education, or can we just live without it? And what are the effects of using technology in correctional education? These are the research questions I posed for this research proposal. So, looking at all the literature that has been gathered over this topic, was very difficult because there was basically nothing about technology in correctional education. The most recent and the most detailed study was done in 2013 by the RAND Corporation, and the RAND Corporation is very famous for doing a lot of other studies, but they found only 4 suitable studies about technology in correctional education, and 2 of those studies were from the 1980s, so that technology is very outdated. What the RAND Corporation said in their study was basically that there needed to be more studies done about technology and correctional education before they could come to a conclusive decision about whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. Looking at the studies about technology and correctional education, there's problems with most of them. Most of them have a small sample size or they have unreliable data. The studies that were done did show a couple of things about technology in correctional education. One of them was that technology is ideal for the individual learner. It's also great for students with disabilities. They won't be judged or made fun of by their peers. It also creates greater access to education. That's for a couple of things they can do. Distance learning, and it also solves the problem of instructor shortages. If you don't have enough instructors, you can have computers in order to have access to education. It also gives students skills needed for reentry, because getting a job in this day and time without any kind of technological know-how is about impossible. Studies have also shown that it helps solve discipline problems and increases the self-esteem of the learner. So, for this study, we're going to do interviews of 20 employees from Arkansas Correctional Schools. The great thing about Arkansas Correctional Schools is the instructors are male, female, black, white, old, young, and so we're going to have a mix of all these different correctional educators in order to ensure that everybody's point of view is seen. We're going to have instructors who teach males and females, and also instructors from maximum and minimum securities so that every point of view is looked at. The only criteria is that educators must have taught for 5 years in correctional education in order to see how technology has kind of been used, if it has been used, and what are the effects of it. So interviews will be conducted in a quiet, private place, one-on-one. This ensures, that the interviewee and trust the interviewer and that all answers will be kept private. They will be recorded and later transcribed so that they can be analyzed for themes in the data. During the interview process, educators will be encouraged to give examples, to provide stories, to go into detail to illustrate their answers. And then after all the interviews have been conducted, the data will be analyzed for themes that will answer the research questions.